Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Popcorn Problems. My name is Elon Pressman, and I'm here with my very good friend and fellow co-host.
Nicholas DePasco. Every week, we'll make sure you're caught up with the biggest news and movies in Hollywood.
This week, we're reviewing 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, one of last weekend's biggest new releases. But before we get to that, what's poppin'? Where we run through the biggest movie stories of the week. What's up, guys? Hope everyone is having a great week. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. Just getting settled into the new year, I suppose, and just working a lot.
Yeah,
That's pretty much been it.
yeah, it's going really fast. We're almost in
Yeah,
February,
genuinely.
which is kind of like actually crazy.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so
No, yeah, I don't know. I didn't
we'll
even
see.
realize.
Yeah, and without giving away too much, I just want to say having this much of a banger in January, it really gives me a good feeling about the rest of the year. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Uh, let's start with the box office for the week. Not number one is Avatar: Fire and Ash. In its fifth week, it pulled in 13.3 million domestic, 38% drop, which brings its totals to 363.5 domestic, 1.32 billion global. It's the first film since The Way of Water to have five consecutive weeks in a row as number one. And it has passed Deathly Hallows Part 2 as the 23rd biggest global release ever. So that's interesting. It's definitely not doing as good as I thought it would. I would be surprised if it even hits 1.5 billion at this point, but it's definitely not going to
Yeah,
hit 2 billion. That's I think that's out of the question.
I think I was expecting this. Honestly, the steam for the Avatar franchise is obviously it's not dying off because it's still made over a billion and a half dollars. Um, but more
But
just
it's
like
not where it was.
especially yeah, that's not where it was with the sequel. Obviously, people were very interested in seeing the sequel. And now that it's a normalized thing, um,
Yeah.
there just isn't that same sort of hook, I suppose. But I'm still very happy that it got what it got. A billion and a half. That's like it's almost crazy to think that like that's what we're saying. Oh, we expected more, or we expected more than that. You know what I mean?
But I mean,
Um,
with a franchise of this size and with the cost these movies take, it
yeah.
kind of needs to be pulling in that crazy box office. And looking at a number like this, in a franchise, ideally, they're going to go up in box office. And I guess that's difficult where your first movie in the franchise is the highest grossing film of all time, but you
Yeah.
at least want it to stay steady. And so the fact that this one did drop so much could be a point of concern. I also think that it's just because the movie maybe wasn't as different because the jump from one to two was huge. But
Hmm.
I feel like two and three were meant to be one movie. They were one script that got split into two movies, um, which is why they're not so different. And I think audiences aren't crazy about that. So I wonder if they are going to make four and five, and if they do, um, I wonder what's going to be the big hook. And I hope it's them going to Earth.
They're definitely. I think James Cameron said like at the very end or close to the end, they are gonna go back to Earth, to see what that's like. So that'd be impressive. I do really want to see a four and a five, a lot as well. I think it's one of those franchises that just weirdly exist, and I'm honestly just happy to experience it in real time. I think I was more afraid that this film wouldn't do as well as it's doing right now, even if it's not
Yeah,
considered to be great. Um, so I was very happy that people were still coming to watch the Avatar franchise. They just need to make a newer one, like genuinely. Like what you said is true. I didn't know that it was actually split from one script in itself.
yeah. I
They just
I
need to
actually
make a
found that
newer
out
one.
after we reviewed it and after I watched it. I like
Uh
was
huh.
doing some research and I found that out.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's insane.
Hmm.
That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense, genuinely.
yeah, because you can definitely tell that they try to market this one as differently as they could from the
Hmm.
second one, but it's so similar to the second one.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's has to do a lot with it. And
Hmm.
number two is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. It opened with 13 million domestic, 31.2 global, on a $63 million budget. Um, so not the best opening,
Mhm.
which is a little concerning. But I already know that they did green light. Like the third 20 years later film is guaranteed. That's already happening with Alex Garland coming back to write, and no director attached just yet. So there's that. But even though it's not the best opening, at least we know we're getting the third one. Number three, in its eighth week, is Utopia 2. It's crazy that Utopia 2 is making this much money, by the way. Because I really feel it's like it's not having a cultural impact at all. I feel like it just kind of
Mhm.
came and went, other than the fact that it's printing money.
I believe what it's Disney's highest grossing movie of last year so far. Um, I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
insane.
it's the highest. Yeah, it's really it's crazy. It only dropped 12% this weekend, making 8.8 million domestic.
Hmm.
Globally, it's at 1.7 billion on only $150 million budget, which is a lot.
Hmm.
Um, but for these type of reward, it's great.
People love
Skipping,
these animal movies. Sorry, just real quickly.
they
That's
do.
what
No,
also
they do.
That's also why I'm incredibly interested to watch this year's Go movie. Just real quickly,
Hmm.
just because like I think I'm one of those people. I think these animal movies are very fun, and I think looking at the world that they build around them, like how they make animal or how they make I guess human things made for animals in the world in that
Hmm.
world. I think I love it. It's so cool, and I hope. Obviously, I don't think Go is going to be as successful, but um, I hope it is. It does get to that sort of level or something like that. I hope people like it. I hope it's a good
Yeah,
movie. Obviously,
I think Goat could be really good, and also Sony has just a crazy good track record with
exactly. Yeah.
their animated films. So I'm looking forward to that one.
For sure.
Uh, the only other thing I kind of want to mention on the top 10 is the 10th spot, which was no other choice actually. It expanded to almost 700 screens this weekend, where it grew 63% in its box office. It pulled in 2.2 million domestic, which brings it to 6.5 million domestic total on a $12.2 million budget. I actually saw this in IMAX, and I'm going to be talking about it later on. So uh, I'm excited to talk to you guys about that. That was a good movie.
I also saw this movie this week, and well, I tried watching it and I fell asleep as soon as it started.
Ooh,
So I did not. I cannot give much feedback
okay,
on it. Maybe I'll give it a
interesting.
read.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so overall, this weekend brought in 84.3 million domestic total. That's down 15% from last week, but up 8% from this same weekend last year. Um, and that is the third time in a row this year that we were outpacing last year. So that's good. A couple of new records were set this week. Zootopia 2 passed Inside Out 2 to become Hollywood's highest grossing animated film ever. I believe the only one that's is above it is Neja 2.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then Marty Supreme passed Everything Everywhere All at Once to become A24's biggest domestic hit ever.
Wow, that's insane. I'm very happy about that. Well deserved. Well deserved, and I believe.
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of have a bunch of little news stories to kind of go over, just some new casting announcements, some movie announcements, and we'll just talk as I go. Um,
Hmm.
as a Star Wars fan, kinda, it was very exciting to hear that Kathleen Kennedy was stepping down as the Lucasfilm president after nearly
Mm.
14 years, like running the company. However, I'm not crazy with the replacement of Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni is going to be taking over. He's going to be one of the co-presidents. I don't remember the name of the other guy. Um, I was a big Filoni fan when he first kind of started making the shows, like the first few seasons of Mandalorian, and then his
Was he the original showrunner for Clone Wars, the
clone.
original?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Um, I don't know. I'm just worried also because I feel like he's very stuck in his era of Star Wars because he did a lot to kind of create the Clone Wars TV show,
Hmm.
which has been the backbone of a lot of recent Star Wars projects and content. Um, and so it's kind of worrying him taking over. Hopefully, he's learned from the past few years um, self control, and maybe he'll take good care of the company. The brand is in a big need for reshaping, and I don't think Mandalorian Grogu is going to do that this year. So there's a lot of damage control that needs to be done, and I don't know if Filoni's the guy to do it, unfortunately.
I think yeah, I think he is too a little bit too unkhead, a little bit too archaic. Not is there a better person for the job right now though? I don't know. I don't think so. Would you
I don't
would you
know.
would you
I
like
would have been okay with like John Fab. No, I wouldn't have. I don't know.
Alon, you should have been the new head of Lucasfilm of Star Wars. I think that's my
Maybe they just stopped making Star Wars. I think Star Wars is.
thing.
I don't know.
Would you be okay with that
I
genuinely?
like yeah. If I'm watching every new project and my enjoyment is going down and down, and I'm thinking less and less of the company, yeah, stop making stuff and just let me grow nostalgic for it and try again in like 20 years. Like I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just. It's been this is going to be the first year since 2019 when there has been a Star Wars movie in theaters, and since then, I feel like the brand has just become a Disney Plus brand, um,
And
and so I
Mandalorian
think
and
that's
Grogu
gonna,
definitely does not help either.
yeah, it's gonna really. I don't know. I think their return to theaters being Mandalorian and Grogu. I think that was really dumb. I think that was really really dumb. But we'll see how that turns out.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see just the box office of it, honestly, more than anything.
Yeah, it's gonna make $2.50.
It's gonna be another solo again. Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ, poor Alden Ehrenreich. Anyway, uh, Nick, you're going to be excited to hear this. Warner Bros. Is developing an animated Speedy
Hell
Gonzalez film
yeah.
with Jorge R. Gutierrez set to direct the film. Um, that's awesome. Yes, I hope
Yeah.
it's 2D animated.
For sure. Well, I don't know. I don't have my hopes up just because Jorge R. Gutierrez. He has worked with um 3D in the past, so he definitely knows what he's doing. It would be really cool to see it 2D animated. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
he's behind the Book of Life. For
yes, he is
context,
behind the Book
that's
of
like
Life. He's also
his biggest thing.
if you know the show, the early 2000s Nickelodeon show El Tigre. He also did that,
Hmm.
and he's done I think a Netflix show called Maya and the Three or something like that. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I think he's a very inspired artist, especially with a very particular Mexican voice. That I don't know. I think I'm very interested to what even a Speedy Gonzalez movie could be because. As big as a fan as I am of Looney Tunes, I haven't seen a lot of individual Speedy Gonzalez shorts. So, what could a narrative even like that be like that? And also, is it going to be fully animated? Is it going to be 2D? What are we doing? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that this could be a really interesting project, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Next thing I want to mention is that Warner Bros. Has set a November 13th release for the next J.J. Abrams film, The Great Beyond, starring Glenn Powell. It's going to come out this year. We'll see how that is. Um, Next, we have Snoop Dogg will be starring in Eli Roth's new horror film, Don't Go in That House, Bitch. After initially signing on as a producer and music contributor, he will now be the main star.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
see how that turns
okay.
out.
Well, good for
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I thought the name of the movie was funny. That's why I wanted to point it out. I wonder if that.
It definitely
Yeah,
was. I want to see it on a marquee.
yeah. I was thinking that. This next piece of the next few things I am very excited to talk about. Judd Apatow has a new comedy dropping next February. Glenn Powell was already cast. Joining that cast is going to be Christian Milioti from The Penguin.
The
She played
Penguin.
Sophia Falcone.
Mhm.
And Madeline Klein from Outer Banks will be joining that cast. I love Judd Apatow. His comedies are so fucking good. The ones he's directed, the ones he's produced. And yeah, I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out.
That should be fun.
Yeah, next, this one I know you're going to be excited to hear. Michael Angelo Covino will direct a comedy for Netflix titled The Last Fix. He was behind Splitsville that me and Nick really, really liked last year. So I'm eagerly
Very
awaiting his next project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very exciting. Very exciting. I did not know about this at all. Wow, cool. I didn't know.
Yeah,
What
I think this was a recent announcement. I think like in the last few days.
is this? Is there a projected release?
Um, I don't have one written down in my notes, so maybe
Okay,
there
okay,
is, but I'm not sure.
That's fine.
All I know is that he's directing it. I don't know if he's going to star in it as well. All I know is that it's going to be on Netflix, and it's going to be a comedy called The Last Fix. It's also going to be like like about like romance and that type of topic.
Figures.
Um, three more announcements. Mike Flanagan's Scarlett Johansson led The Exorcist is going to be releasing on March 12th, 2027. So that finally got a release date. We got confirmation that Kate Blanchett will reprise her role as Valka in the live action How to Train Your Dragon 2, which I'm not surprised. That makes sense.
Yeah,
And
I didn't even know she
finally,
was part of
we
that
have
franchise.
yeah, she voiced the character. It's Hiccup's mom in the second one, and now
Cool.
she's gonna play her in live action, which is really cool. I'm so excited. The second one is so fucking good.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then Hans Zimmer will be composing the original score for HBO's Harry Potter, with Bleeding Fingers music scoring the series.
Well, good for him. I feel like Hans Zimmer. Not that he's not a great composer, because of course, he's done so many things. But at this point, he just has like, yeah, that's just the Hans Zimmer style. And unless it's not anything entirely completely interesting, like for example, his score with Dune, I believe. I'm gonna look
Mm-hmm.
that up to make sure that I'm right about that. I feel like this is gonna be another sad little recreation of the dun 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 or whatever it is.
I'm just happy they're not doing John Williams again. If they got the same composer, that would have been out of hand.
Yeah, that's very true. I just don't know if he'll make something actually interesting with it, but we'll see.
We'll see, yeah. Last thing I want to talk about is Oscar nominations will be announced this Thursday.
Ooh,
The
fun.
stream is going to be hosted by Lewis Pullman from uh, the Thunderbolts and Daniel Brooks from Peacemaker and the Minecraft movie. So I'm really excited about the Oscar nominations. It's been a very
That's a
interesting awards season, I feel like, and a lot
yeah.
of really, really strong movies. And it could really go so many ways. Um, I'm real excited, and we'll talk about the nominations next week.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a great, great time.
For sure. It's a steep year, or it's a hard year this year to decide. So we'll see it.
Yeah, there's just so many great options.
Genuinely, I keep seeing
So
like sorry, real quickly. I just keep seeing like
no, go
compilations
ahead.
of the movies that have come out this year, like montages, compilations, whatever edits. Genuinely insane year for
Yeah,
film. Can't even believe
yeah,
it.
I wouldn't be surprised if 2025 is remembered as one of the big years for film in the 2020s. Obviously, we still have a whole half decade to go, but
Hmm.
it's going to be real tough to top this year. I mean, Sinners, One Battle After Another, Hamnet, um, other ones that are escaping my brain for Marty Supreme. It's just so many bangers, and it's just a great time to be a film fan, a cinephile.
For sure.
So yeah, that's the end for what's poppin', and let's move into what we've watched. So I'm gonna kick us off for what we've watched. As you guys know, I'm a massive, massive Scream fan. We have a film coming out next month titled Scream 7, which is going to be a big film for me. I'm very, very excited. And in preparation, me and Nick are going to be working our way through the Scream franchise, or at least we're going to try our best to, and give you guys weekly reviews. So this week we watched Scream. Um, it was his first time watching Scream, so I was honored to be there. And Nick, talk to us. What do you think about Scream?
Yeah, I actually had a great time with Screen, surprisingly enough. I remember watching it trying to watch it a few years ago. I don't know what mood I was in, or if I just wasn't with it. But I tried to watch it, and then like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and I shut it off because I was just not digging with it. But this time watching it with Alon, I don't know. I had a great time. It was a fun movie. I understood what it was trying to do. I was surprised by a lot of elements of it. Uh, even though I think that's the fundamental flaw is like I knew who the killers were, like always, even when I tried first watching it before. Um, but I feel like there were like new details that I just didn't know about and I don't know. I'm excited to see where the franchise goes because I was, other than just whatever happened in the film itself, it was also just a genuinely well directed and funnily written script and film. So yeah, I really liked it.
I'm so happy. Yeah, surprised to no one. I loved it again. Such a good film, so expertly written, directed, uh, shot. Uh, the way it's the physical performances, the chase
The
sequences,
composition of the
the
scenes,
composition,
the
the
colors.
production design, the score. It's just perfect. Every time I watch it, I love it more and more. And I'm excited to be working through this franchise with Nick and seeing what he says, all leading up to Scream 7, which is honestly seeming to be an Infinity War Endgame style situation for the Scream franchise. So we'll see how that turns out, but
I mean, it's about time they
I'm
introduce
really.
time travel with these movies. So
So yeah, I'm curious. Hold on, before we move on, who was your favorite character? What was your
oh,
favorite moment? Yeah.
my favorite character, bro. Sarge. No, sorry, my bad. Deputy Dewey,
Oh my
the
god.
goat. Always.
Oh, I love Dewey, bro.
My favorite. I would trust him with my life. You know what I mean? He's one of the good apples. He's one of the good apples in the uh, Deputy Dewey was my favorite, and I think my favorite I would say moment in
Maybe a favorite kill, something like that.
ooh, the great I don't remember the actress's name, but a great kill that like really like stood out to me was the garage door kill. And
Okay,
honestly that whole
the Tatum
scene,
kill.
yeah, the Tatum kill.
Tatum's
Honestly that whole
kill.
scene was pretty funny to begin with. I like how the scream without spoiling it, the killer was like still like playing around with Tatum even as like Tatum was playing around with them. I don't know. I thought the whole scene was like really well shot, well made. Has a lot of good tension. It's just funny. It's a good scene. I think that was my favorite
Yeah,
moment.
Wes Craven was the master of tension. He just does it like on another level.
For real.
There's
And I
there's
was
really no one.
also
There's really no one like him.
I was also surprised to learn how late into his career like this movie was made. I feel like if I'm not mistaken, he made like Friday the 13th in like the 80s. That's not true. In 84. Um and then New Nightmare in 94, and then he had extensive career in the 70s and 80s, and then in his 30s he starts making like a blockbuster hit franchise that's going on for his seventh film now. I think that just goes to show how good he is.
Yeah, and he just really understands the horror genre, which is why I think the film works so much because it comments on the horror genre while also I feel like avoiding its annoying tropes and honoring its best, like the best things about the horror genre.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, obviously, I'm not the most unbiased person when reviewing Scream, just because I mean it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Um, it's just so good. I'm so happy you liked it, Nick.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see where the rest of it goes and how and what happens in Scream Seven. I like knowing I like knowing what's going on now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing we watched, which was No Other Choice. Before I give my review, Nick, I'm just curious, what didn't you like about this movie? Because I thought it was great.
I no, see, here's the thing. Honestly, it was 100% a wrong time, wrong place sort of situation for that movie. Um, I just had a long day that day, and then I just decided to go watch No Other Choice and fell asleep. And that's pretty much it. I can't say anything about the movie itself. I definitely woke up during specific scenes, and I feel like just when I woke up, I was low key annoyed by the pace and the delivery of the film. But I can't really like confidently say that was the film's fault. More just my tired state of being. Um,
Right.
I do want to give it another shot, maybe in like a month or so. I don't know. Um, maybe right before the Oscars when it gets nominated for Best Picture or some shit like that. I'll watch it then. But yeah, Alon,
Makes
what did
sense.
you think watching No Other Choice?
Yeah, I had a great time with it. I think the best part about it, it's carried on the back of two great performances from the main actor and the woman who plays his wife, as well with the cinematography. I haven't seen very many Park Chan Wook films. I believe this actually might be my first one, which is so embarrassing to say as a big film fan. I gotta watch Old Boy. There's others that obviously I don't know about. I gotta learn. But I was just
The Handmaiden. That's
obs.
the other one. Sorry,
Okay, yeah, and Decision to Leave. I need to watch that as
that one
well.
too. Yeah.
I think yeah, I just the way he uh films some sequences in this movie are just phenomenal. Um, he puts cameras in ways, not in ways, but in places that you would never think in a scene, which gives you such a grand scope of the landscape and what's going on. Um, I think the script is really really smart. The way it is funny, but also serious and kind of heartbreaking. And yeah, like I said, the performance from the main guy, he plays a frontman in Squid Game, just phenomenal. So much emotion, and I just think it was a great movie. I'm not too big into Korean films. I haven't seen too many. But if they're anything like this, then I know that there is such a large world of cinema out there for me to discover that I am yet to experience. But yeah, I had a good time with No Other Choice.
Did you watch it? Not that it matters, but like, did you watch it subtitled or dubbed over?
Yeah, subtitle. I don't think that
Okay,
they're even showing it dubbed, or at least
I
not in my
maybe not.
theater near me.
I don't know.
But yeah, I saw it.
Um,
I saw it in Korean. I saw it like with subtitles.
yeah. Did you feel any like sort of, I guess not issue with that, but just because you didn't, because you enjoyed the film. But like, I don't know. Would you see yourself like being more okay with watching like other films of other countries in the future, despite the subtitles or something like that?
Yes, yes. However, I feel like it would need to be in the cinema because I get distracted easily. Um, so it would need to be in a cinema. And also, uh, I guess one complaint I have about the film is that it was a bit long.
Mm.
I don't want to say it overstayed its welcome. It didn't overstay its welcome, but if they trimmed off maybe 10 to 15 minutes, I think it would have been a 4.5 star. Uh, when right now I have it at 4 stars. So I really enjoyed it, and I think it could have been just a little bit better had it not been so long. But I think you should give it another chance. I think you would enjoy it you know, uh, if it had you on good circumstances.
For sure. I'm sure. Like I said, completely my fault about that. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm really happy.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that you want to mention for what we watched?
Yeah. So in preparation of this week's film, I had watched 28 Days Later, the original. Ugh, now I can't remember the year, but the original film with Cillian Murphy for the first time.
Yeah,
Um,
the one that was shot on a potato.
yeah, exactly. I was very curious the whole time what they actually shot this with. I'm sure just like what, like a shitty digital camera or something like that.
Yeah.
Handheld. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows anymore? Um, well, they do. But my point being, I fairly enjoyed the film. Uh, I think I was moreover just impressed with how little they could do, with how little they worked with. Um, I remember hearing the story of, for that begin. Have you seen the film, Owen?
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing the story of like how they cleared it for that opening scene with like Cillian Murphy being alone in the great touristy parts of London. How they just recorded in the really early morning so that like nobody was there, and it's all these different like places, and I'm just astounded that that was that of the filmmaking of that, of the skill of that. I think also working with this shitty camera and just being like, yeah, that's what we're working, that's what we're using, and still managing to make shots look visually interesting, communicate well what's happening, not just let everything be like a muddle of pixels and color. I also think that's a
Hmm.
very uh very good skill from Danny Boyle. And within the writing of the story itself, I did not know that Alex Garland also wrote the original film.
Yeah,
I feel he he has a way in what I've noticed of films that I've watched. I think he also wrote the Bone Temple, correct? Am I
yeah, he wrote
confusing?
all of them.
Yeah, he's written all of them, and also Civil War, and also Men from a few years ago,
Hmm.
and maybe something else. But in all of the films that I've watched of Alex Garland, I think, and I can talk about this a little bit more in Bone Temple as well, because I think
Ex
Bone
Machina
Temple.
and Warfare from
Oh,
earlier this year.
Ex Machina, I also shut off a few years ago, and I did not watch Warfare. Um, but I think okay, I guess a little spoiler. Bone Temple, what is my favorite film of the ones that he's written so far? I think he has an issue where he touches kind of on certain themes, on certain interesting themes, and like says like, "Oh yeah, this is kind of what's going on." But it's more used for a plot element instead of actual kind of plot relevance. Not that it's not relevant. I don't
Hmm.
know how to make this make more sense. But I just wish the themes that he touched on in this film specifically on 28 Years Later were more thoroughly thought through, and instead of just moving on to the next topic of whatever's happening in this apocalyptic war, whether it be the burgeoning relationship of Cillian Murphy and Selena, and or this like new like cult or whatever of army guys. I don't know. I enjoyed the filmmaking of 28 Years Later, of 28 Days Later, and I enjoyed the character interactions. The overall ride of 28 Days Later was somewhat okay, but overall, for a start to a franchise that has been, at least artistically successful, I'm pretty good with it. I think it's a good film.
Yeah,
That was
I
kind of
watched it
the
last
long
year.
monologue.
I watched it last year before the other one came out, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty good.
I also think, yeah, I did not also a little notice before going into Bone Temple. I have not seen 28 Years Later, the one from last year, from 2025. So I went into it
Yeah.
with the only the knowledge of 28 Days Later. Have you seen anything else
Okay.
this week before we go into that? Sorry.
No, I'm ready to move into 28 years later, The Bone Temple, our main review. I'm going to start with a quick spoiler-free summary. Dr. Kelson finds himself in a shocking new relationship with consequences that could change the world as he knows it, while Spike's encounter with Jimmy Crystal becomes a nightmare he can't escape. I'm going to start off.
Go
I
ahead.
am obsessed with this movie. I cannot stop thinking
Oh,
about it since I left the theater. I watched it yesterday. Truly a spectacular movie. I think some of the character work by Ralph Fiennes and Jack O'Connell in this movie is just awe-inspiring. I think they are so good. I mean, everyone's great in this film, but specifically those two, they carry every scene that they're in. Your eyes are glued just because they are so good. Um, what's it called? I think our protagonist Spike, um, even better than he was in the last one. I think he was a great actor in the last one, but in this one, his eye acting. There's a lot of scenes with masks in this one, and a lot of the acting has to be done through the eyes,
mm-hmm.
and I just think it was really powerful. I think Nia DaCosta shot the film to perfection. The the film loves the titular Bone Temple, uh, and because of that, we get so much time getting just like establishing shots, different cinematography, like cool cinematography angles of it, just interspliced within the movie. Not only does it look fantastic when characters are, just as a set for a scene, but just seeing it on its own. Like they have shots where like the night's kind of changing as we're seeing the Bone Temple, and it is just gorgeous. Um, yeah, I think the characters were great. I'm not going to go into specific plot points so we get into spoilers, but I think that the way they handled one of the plot line, I think both of the two main plot lines in this movie were really, really good. But specifically the Ian Kelsing plot line with Ralph Fiennes and Samson, uh, I think that was just spectacular. I think it's kind of something I haven't seen in a zombie film before. I feel like it's kind of like new, uncharted territory, at least for me. Um, Let me think. What else do I want to mention? I'm gonna let you go, and then we can kind of speak about it. What do you think about 20 years later, the
Sure.
Bone Temple?
I also really liked it. More than I thought I would. I think Nia DaCosta actually was on one of the most perfect hands that could have touched this franchise, and I'm very interested to see if I don't think they're gonna pick her for the third one in the trilogy. I mean, they might, who knows, or they might just pick somebody else. It'd be interesting to see somebody else do that job, but I also wouldn't mind seeing Nia DaCosta finish the trilogy off.
I
Um,
I wouldn't be surprised if Danny Boyle does the third one.
yeah, that's what I was thinking was most likely. I just think it's very interesting to do for them to do that. For them to for like a director to do the first two. I guess that's what they did with Star Wars, but it's a sort of different situation. Um, but yeah, no. Going back to Bone Temple, I really enjoyed it as well. I thought the relationship between Ralph Fiennes and the other guy, Samson, was kind of very touching and emotional, and to a point that I did not expect.
Incredibly well
Uh,
executed, just incredibly well done.
100%.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know. I think it was the perfect amount. The whole film was the perfect amount of silly and perfect amount of genuinely scary. I remember. Oh, no, I that's in spoilers. I don't know. Yeah, it was a great film. I very much enjoyed it. So many elements of it just worked for me. Beautifully shot. I keep thinking about the scenes from the Bone Temple of like the camera looking up at the stars and like just like swirling
Yes,
around.
yes. Just stunning. Just honestly
Uh,
stunning.
Genuinely, no, and also the character work. I am very much kind of against cults in film. I'm not against it, but I just think it's a really tired trope. Um, and usually it's not done very interestingly. So when I saw that happen in this film, or that being a part of this film, I was a little bit. It became a little bit disinteresting. But the way that it developed, it moved on and continued throughout the film, just without spoiling, incredible. I thought I had a lot of fun with it. I genuinely had a lot of fun with it. That's pretty much it. I don't know. I'm pretty much ready to go into spoilers because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, let's move into spoilers. I think let's start kind of deep diving into the cult side of it, and then we'll
Sure.
pop into the other plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Jack O'Connell, it was so good in this movie.
Dude,
I mean,
insane.
he was good. He was good in Sinners,
Yeah.
but I think that's nothing on this film. He is so scary. Scary. I was thinking of Charity. He was so scary. He was literally evil. Um, so crazy. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
his his satanic group of people with him.
And how
That
natural
Spike
he
is
was
kind of
with it too. Oh, sorry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say
I'm
like Spike
yeah.
was so like the way that they showed like Spike's fear
Mm-hmm.
in the film was amazing. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I just said like the way Jack O'Connell was so natural with his like evil. Like I remember that one scene when he's talking to Ralph Fiennes for the first time, and he it just switches like, so if you don't let us like come into your house, like we're gonna gut you or whatever he says. It's just
We're gonna
such a
feed you your intestine.
yeah, exactly. It's such a 180 switch that just like it blows you away. And it's like, okay, dude, I feel so bad for Ralph Fiennes right now because the fuck are you supposed to do? Also, oh wait, no, continue. Yeah, the cult aspect. Yeah,
Yeah, I just feel like he's weirdly comforting in a super eerie way
yeah,
that
I
is
see
just
it.
so effect that is just so effective.
Hmm.
Um his like philosophy, like we're in the last film we are introduced to the character, but we don't really learn much about him, and it kind of ends on the Jimmy's taking Spike, or kind of like adopting him, I guess,
Who
bringing
is
him in.
Spike?
Hmm?
Who is Spike? I know it's the little kid, but who is Spike?
It's
Why is he important?
Yeah. So see, this is why it would have helped for you to see the other movie. Pretty much the
Yeah.
other one is with Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer. They play Spike's parents. Jodie Comer dies. I don't remember exactly what happens to Aaron Taylor Johnson's character. I think he's searching for Spike, so maybe he'll come back in the third one. But he's just like the protagonist of the new trilogy.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Um, what else do I want to mention? Here, I'm gonna let you speak, and then yeah, go ahead.
No, I also think the way that all of the Jimmys, including Spike, um, played off each other was super fun. It added a a beating heart to the film, and I
Yeah, their chemistry was great.
yeah, and I just love seeing like how they would also contradict the main Jimmy what is his name, Jack O'Connor or Jack O'Connell.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole Jimmy aspect really just was a lot more fun to me than I had thought, and a lot more brutal as well. I did not think they would show the actual skinning of the shirts. I
yeah.
thought
Some
that
of
was
the
really neat.
gore, some of the gore in the movie, was
Insane,
done very
insane good.
tastefully. Was done very
Mm-hmm.
tastefully, but still very graphic and impactful.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody mention or kind of recommend that the next film by Nia DaCosta would be the Avatar, not Avatar. I don't know why I said Avatar. The Alien Romulus sequel, because Fede Alvarez
Ooh,
will not be directing it. He's just gonna be a producer on it, and they still need a
yeah.
director. And so somebody said that she should direct it, and I see that 100%. I think that could be awesome.
No, she there could definitely be something there. Holy cow! Oh, that'd be great. I do think Nia DaCosta has a very interesting way of seeing these people, and a very grounded human way of like even during you felt sympathy for Samson, you felt sympathy for offense, and you even felt sympathy sometimes for Jimmy Crystal. I think that's something. I mean, obviously that's something that the writer does, but also just framing these characters and knowing how to shoot them, knowing how to I don't know, time them well with the others. I don't know. It's a very human aspect that I really appreciate in Ian DaCosta's filmmaking. Another thing I wanted to mention was the relationship between Samson and Ralph. What's his name again? Doctor something.
Dr. Ian Kelsing,
Doctor
so
Ian
well
Kelsing.
done, so
So
well done.
incredible. I love the time that it took. I don't know if that like between each scene, the progression of their relationship felt so natural, and I like how they're essentially like just they're just stoners. Like they're just stoners who love to hang
Yeah,
out. I
yeah,
think
it's
that's
great.
so funny.
And just it was
Yeah.
so satisfying, the final review, like when he actually started speaking, when he said his first word. I mean, that was just in the theater. That was such an awe-inspiring moment.
Yeah.
And then the way it flashed back
Mm-hmm.
to, I guess, like before the outbreak during the guy's childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. I just think it was so inspired. Like I said, it's not something I feel like I've ever seen in a zombie uh, uh, story before, and I'm so curious where this is gonna go, because essentially by the end of the movie he's cured. I mean, he's speaking full sentences, right?
Yeah.
So I'm so curious where this is gonna go. Um,
He was in the
it is
previous
really
film though,
sad.
right?
Samson, I don't know if he was. I don't think he was.
Okay. Okay. What were you gonna say? What was really sad?
Let me. Ian Kelsing dying. Oh, he
Oh,
was.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was in the last movie,
Okay,
according
okay.
to Google.
Yeah, that was horribly sad, but I'm a proponent, and I've been a proponent of this for the longest time. Kill your main characters. I think it was incredibly sad,
No,
but it
yeah.
also made
It,
sense, and I'm very happy that
no,
he did that. That
it
was
gave the film stakes for sure.
absolutely.
Um, and it was just really impactful, especially seeing his dying body right next to Jack O'Connell,
Hmm.
upside down cross, literally upside down crucified.
Wait,
Um,
one thing I wanted to mention about that scene real quickly, because I really loved that scene. The way that Samson comes in like with the devil horns from Jack O'Connell's POV, and
so good,
and
so
the
good.
dude insane, and the way that he picks up Ian, and then he's like, "Oh my God, why have you forsaken me?" Like he's forgotten. I don't know. I love that whole scene, but and this bothered me at the very end. At the very very end, they decide to do a jump scare, a YouTube style like zombie in the car in the highway just style jump scare, and I thought it was so cheap and just ruined that moment, especially when the shot was like lingering on Jack O'Connell's view of him just like looking at the stars or whatever, and then they just put like an overly edited jump scare in the middle of that. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I thought it was a little cheap.
Yeah, it was a little strange, but I don't know. It didn't ruin it for me by any means. So
Yeah,
I don't know. To
no,
me,
I mean,
it wasn't the end of the world.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was like, ugh, like it would have been such a better scene without that, or a better ending to that scene without that. But whatever. Regardless, uh, it was so great.
Yeah. A character that we haven't actually mentioned yet was the Jimmy, the female Jimmy,
Oh right, I did not.
the ginger one. She played the villain in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know the actress's name,
I
but
have.
I thought she was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I think her, like, not fully, like, being into the cult, but not buying uh, Jimmy Prime's like bullshit. I thought that was really interesting, and seeing her relationship with Spike kind of develop throughout the film. And I don't know. I'm very excited. I want to. I think it's really cool that they're looping in Cillian Murphy. By the way, we haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah.
And so the stories are going to be intersecting within the third one in the film, and so I'm just really curious to see how where this is all going to go. The only one of these movies I haven't seen is 28 Weeks Later, and I know that doesn't really connect with any of them, but I wonder if they're going to find a way to wrap that one. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what happens in it, but I wonder if they're going to find a way to wrap that into it. I don't know. I'm just really in on the 28 Years Later franchise. I think it could be a really cool like ground for just like different types of stories within a post-apocalyptic world. Um, like this one, where it's essentially about a cult and a friendship, right?
Hmm.
Essentially, I wouldn't say it's like any other zombie film I've ever seen, for the most
No,
part.
definitely not.
So I think it's really interesting what they're doing with the franchise, and I really appreciate it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, one more thing I'd like to mention in terms of spoilers is I really do love the way that they explained also how Samson was being cured. It made so much sense in terms of the actual like logic of the world, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I just thought it was very clever. I thought in general the film was very very clever, and I also am very interested in seeing. I do want to go back to watch the one from last year because regardless, I've heard it was also really good, and
it is really good.
I want to see how this franchise finishes. Apparently, the second 28 weeks later stars Jeremy Renner. I did not know that. So if they
Really,
put
that's
yeah,
funny.
if they put Jeremy Renner in the third one, that'd be insane. That'd be insane.
That, that's funny. Although I don't even know if that one is canon because from what I heard is that that one ends with like the virus spreading, like getting off of Britain and spreading to like elsewhere.
Yeah.
But there doesn't seem to be any evidence of that in these movies.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Some people are saying it's not even canon because I know it's not directed by Danny Boyle or anything. So
Yeah, no, it's not.
I yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, this movie was just so good. My favorite scene in the movie was like the satanic presentation that Ralph Fiennes has to do to literally survive, to not die. He has
Oh
to
yeah.
essentially convince the whole cult that he is Saint Nick, the devil, and that Jimmy Prime is his offspring. Until he realizes through the wonderful eye acting, which I mentioned, I'm still thinking about the shot of Spike with the mask on, and he just looks scared shitless. Um, Such a powerful shot.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think that whole sequence was so well done, from the way it was shot to the way it was acted. Um, it was just so great. I really I don't know. I rate this a four. I might even I want to rewatch it. It might even be a 4.5. I have to see, but
I want to see what this
it's
film
great to have.
needs. Sorry, sorry. Finish.
I was gonna say it's great to have this great of a movie in January, which is known to be like the shitter year. So I can't wait to
Mhm.
see what the rest of the year is gonna look like.
No, literally, I want to see this movie once the whole trilogy comes out and just like recontextualize it in
Hmm.
terms of everything. Yeah, this is also a very surprising January release, just because like what you said, that is it is usually known for shit that everybody wants to dump at the end of the last year because nobody's going to the movies at this time. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I do hope people watch it. I do hope it does better. I think you said it was number two at the box office, correct? Um,
Yeah, yeah. It opened at number two.
yeah, I hope it does better because you know it's worth it. I also very much was a fan of the final scene of the satanic scene. I think all the different ways. Oh, one more thing I'd like to mention actually as well, the integration of modern music through Ian Kelsing. In
Oh
all
my
of these scenes
god.
with like an apocalyptic, world, so interesting, so clever. It always had me, always had me like so in tune with the flow of the film, especially at the very end with that satanic scene, but also just throughout the whole film in general. Um, Great, loved it,
Yeah,
loved all those details.
everything in its right place was such a good needle drop. That was
Yeah,
such a good
real,
sequence because that was like with
100%.
this that was with like the stars like having its thing. It was just so nice. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to add. Do you?
Um, no, yeah, no, I thought it was great. Go watch it.
Yeah, definitely give this one a watch. With that being said, that's it for episode 21 of Popcorn Problems. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. We'll be back next week breaking down the new Chris Pratt catastrophe Mercy. In the meantime, hit us up on socials at Popcorn Problems Pod and let us know what you thought of 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Don't forget to follow, rate us 5 stars on whichever platform you're using, and DM us your hottest takes and suggestions. We will see you next time. Peace.
Have a good one, guys.